Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Sacha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Pariyana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sacha Om Ajnanatirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Guru Abhishta Shapurakam Guru Ganera Shisha Sambhushitam Chinta Chinta Samasta Vedana Pranam Shri Rupa Panthanugam Govinda Vidam Ujjalam Avartanam Bhaktanvitam Sundaram Vande Vishwaguruncha Divya Bhagavat Premno Bijapradam Devam Divyatanam Suchandravadanam Balarka Chelanchitam Sandranandapuram Sadekavarnam Vairagvidyam Buddham Shri Siddhant Nidhim Subhaktilasitam Sarasatanam Maram Vandetam Shubhadam Madeka Sharanam Nasiswaram Srīdharam Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Vidito Gauriya Guruvanvaye Bhato Bhanuriva Prabhat Gagane Gaura Sankirtanay Mayavadatamingilo Daragatan Vritti Jivaniman Krishna Prema Sudabdigahan Sukham Pradata Prabhum Tam Bhaje Namo Gaura Kishoraya Bhaktavadhuta Murtaye Gaurangri Padma Bhrangaya Radha Bhava Nishevini Vande Bhakti Vinodam Shri Gaura Shakti Swarupakam Bhakti Shastragya Samrajam Radha Rasa Sudhanadim Gaura Vrajasita Shaira Vaishnavaira Vanda Vigraham Jagannatha Prabhum Vande Premabdham Vriddha Vaishnavam Vancha Kalpataru Bhayascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakhyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gaura Tushe Namah Jayatama Sarto Pango Ramamamanda Matergati Matsarvasya Padam Bhojo Radha Madana Mohano Divyad Vrindaranya Kalpadramadha Śrīmad Ratnagara Singhasanastau Shri Gandharva Srila Govinda Devo Preshthalivi Sevimano Smaram Shriman Rasa Rasarambhivam Shivata Tata Sthita Karshana Venu Shanera Gopi Gopinatha Skyastana Andaya Tulasi Devyaya Priyaya Kesasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Pradai Devi Sattvatai Namo Namah Athanatvantra Gurun Bhagavatarthadan Vyasan Jagat Gurun Natva Tato Jayam Viraya Jaya Saparikara Shri Guru Gauranga Gandhar Govinda Sundar Pad Padmanam Gastu Jaya Saparikara Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Jupad Padmanam Gastu Sakala Vaishnava Pade Mora Namaskar Ithe Kichu Aparadana Ukamar Yachena Vibena Prabhu Rajata Bhaktajan Vandana Koryama Ami Savar Charan Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare. Sastang Dandat Pranam to all the Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, to all the exalted devotees, servitors worldwide, serving at the lotus feet of Om Vishnupad, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswāmī Mahārāj, Om Vishnupad, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Srīdhar Dev Goswāmī Mahārāj, and Om Vishnupad, Vishwavarenya Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. I want to welcome you to our Saturday morning Bhagavad Gītā Goshti discussion, and to our friends and to well-wishers, people who are tuning in for the first time, pranams and welcome to our sadhu sangha. We're going to begin with our kirtan session led by Lavanya Sundari Didi, and then we will continue our reading and discussion from Śrīmad Bhagavad Gītā, Hidden Treasure of the Sweet Absolute. We're on chapter 3, verse
17.
So verse 17 onwards. So, but for now, let's welcome Lavanya Sundari Didi.
We'll start with Shri Guru Charana Padma. So we'll start on page, I think that's 74.
Page
74. Bhaj Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.
Bhaj Shri Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda
Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sanma.
Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Satma.
Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma. Shri Guru Charana Padma
Kevala Bhakati Sadma.
Bando mui sabadana mate.
Bando mui savadhana mate.
Bando mui sabadana mate. তরিয়া যায় যাহার প্রসাদে
ভাই এ ভাব তরিয়া যায়
কৃষ্ণ প্রাপ্তি হয় যাহা হইতে
প্রাপ্তি হইতে
গুরু মুখ পদ্মা বাক্যা চিত্তে করিয়া
पतित पावन श्री गुरुदेव दया करो है
चरण स्थान दिया दया करो है
चरण स्थान दिया
दया करो है चरण सेवा दिया दया करो है
चरण सेवा दिया दया करो है
अधम पतिता जने दया करो है
अधम पतिता जने दया करो है
गुरुदेव 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 गुरुदेव
जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव
जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय गुरुदेव
जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव जय
Okay, so that was Shri Guru Vaishnava Mahatmya Gītī by Śrila Narottam Das Thakur. Now we will sing.
page
Now we will sing on. We'll sing Avatar Sar. I need to figure out what page it's on. Page 130. अवतार सार गौराय अवतार केनो न भाजिली तारे अवतार सार गौराय अवतार केनो न भाजिली तारे करिनी रे बास गेलो ना पियास करिनी रे बास गेलो ना पियास अपना कर्म फेरे अपना कर्म अवतार सारा गौराय अवतार केनो ना बाजिली तारे अवतार सारा गौराय अवतार केनो ना भाजिली तारे करिनी रे बास गेलो ना पियास करिनी रे बास गेलो ना पियास अपना कर्म फेरे अपना कर्म कंठ केरा तारू सदाई से बिली मना अमृत पावरयासे कंठ केरा तारू सदाई से बिली मना अमृत पावरयासे प्रेम कल्पतारू श्री गौरांगाया मरा प्रेम कल्पतारू श्री गौरांगाया मरा ताहारे बाबिली बीचे ताहारे बाबिली बीचे सौरभेराया से पलाश सुंकिली मन नासते पाचिलो कीता सौरभेराया से पलाश सुंकिली मन नासते पाचिलो कीता एक सुदंडा भविका चुशिली मना एक सुदंडा भवि काठ चुशिली मना के मने पाई मीठा के मने पाई मीठा हार बोलिया गोलाय पारिली मना समन किंकरा साप খাইলে মন সমন কি করা সাপ শীতল বলিয়া আগুন পোহালি মন শীতল বলিয়া আগুন পোহালি মন পাইলি বাজর তাপ অবতার সার গৌরয় অবতার কেন না বাজিলি তারে অবতার সার গৌরয় অবতার কেন না বাজিলি তারে করিনি রে বাজল না পিয়াস করিনি রে বাজল না পিয়াস अपन करम फेरे संसार भजिली श्री गौरंगा भूलिली ना सुनिली साधुर कथा संसार भजिली श्री गौरंगा भूलिली ना सुनिली साधुर कथा इहा पर काल दुख लखोयली मन इहा पर काल दुख लखोयली मन खाइली अपन माता खाइली अपन माता इहा पर काल दुख लखोयली मन खाइली अपन माता इहा पर काल दुख लखोयली मन खाइली अपन माता इहा पर काल दुख लखोयली मन इहा पर काल दुख लखोयली मन खाइली अपन माता That was Avatar Sar by Srila Lochandas Thakur. Jai. And now we will sing. Hold on. Where did it go? Okay. Okay, we'll sing on page 171. Hari Hari Bifale Janama Goainu Hari Hari Bifale Janama Goainu Manusya janama paya Radha Krishna na bhajiya Manusya janama paya Radha Krishna na bhajiya Janiya suniya visha Hainu Janiya suniya Manusya janama paya Radha Krishna na bhajiya Manusya janama paya Radha Krishna na bhajiya Janiya suniya visakhainu Suniya Vishakhainu Janiya Suniya Vishakhainu Golokera Premadhana Harinama Sankirtana Golokera Premadhana Harinama Sankirtana Ratina Janilo Kenotaya Ratina Janilo Kenotaya Ratina Janilo Kenotaya Ratina Janila Kenotaya Samsara Bishanale Divani Sihiya Jale Samsara Bishanale Divani Sihiya Jale Juraite na koinu upay Juraite na koinu upay Samsara Bishanale Divani Sihiya Jale Bishanale Divani Sihiya Jale Juraite na koinu upay Juraite na koinu upay Rajendra Nandana Jai Sachi Suta Hoilo Se Rajendra Nandana Se Sachi Suta Hoilo Se Balarama Hoilo Nitai Balarama Hoilo Nitai Dina Hina Chata Chilo Hari Nama Yudarilo যত ছিল হরি নামায় উদারিল দিনহীন যত ছিল হরি নামায় উদারিল তার সাক্ষী জগাই মদায় মদায় তার সাক্ষী জগাই মদায় হা হা প্রভু নন্দ সুতা বৃষভানু সুতা জুতা হা হা প্রভু নন্দ সুতা বৃষভানু সুতা জুতা করুণা কর হইবার নরোত্তম দাস কয় নাথে বিহ রঙ্গ পয় নরোত্তম দাস কয় খেলিহ রঙ্গ পয় তোমা বিনে কে আছে আমার তোমা বিনে কে আছে আমার তোমা বিনে কে আছে আমার তোমা বিনা কে আছে আমার হা হা প্রভু নন্দ সুতা বৃষভানু সুতা জুতা বৃষভানু সুতা হা হা প্রভু নন্দ সুতা বৃষভানু সুতা জুতা হা হা প্রভু নন্দ সুতা বৃষভানু সুতা জুতা করুণা করো হেইবার করুণা করো হেইবার নরোত্তম দাসে কয় না তেলিহ রঙ্গ পায় রঙ্গ পায় নরোত্তম দাসে কয় না তেলিহ রঙ্গ পায় তোমা বিনে কে আছে আমার তোমা বিনা কে আছে আমার হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে হরে বলো হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে হরে that's Ishtadeve Vigyapati by Srila Narottam Das Thakur.
Jai. Jai Lavanya Sundari Didi ki Jai.
My computer. Oh.
So wonderful, ecstatic kirtan. So chapter 3, we're on verse the one you said 17?
Yes, 17.
Twenty 21. Let's chant till 24, and then we'll read the translation, and then is that okay, Mother Prabhu?
Sure, do that.
Haripriyaditi, is that fine?
What is start the chapter?
Chapter 3, 17.
Chapter 3, verse 17.
17. Okay.
So then we'll chant from 17. So we'll chant 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. Also 24. So we'll chant till 24. Yasta atmaratirev syad atmatrittascha manava atmanyaeva cha santustas tasya karyam navidyate naiva tasya kritinartho nakritineha kaschana nachasya sarvabhuteshu kaschidartha vipashayo Tasmāda sakta satatam karyam karma samāchara asakto hai acharan karma param apnoti purusha karmannaiva hi samsiddhim asthitaha janakadaya loka sangraham evapi sampashyan kartum arhasi yad yad acharati shreshtas tad tad evaitaro jana sayat pramanam kurute lokastad anuvartate name parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana nanavapatavyam avapatavyam vartaeva cha karmani yadi aham navarteyam jatu karmanyatanrita mama vartamanu vartante manusya partha sarvasha Utsiddhayura me loka na kudyama karma chedaham sankarasya cha kartasyam upahanyama ima praja. So, would you like to start, Lavanya Sundar? 17.
Okay. Yet, there is no duty to fulfill for the realized person who delights within the self, being fully satisfied within. His only worldly action or karma is as required for his subsistence.
Haripriya Didi?
Well,
18.
Number 18.
in the world he neither gains by action nor loses by inaction. He does not depend on any other being from Lord Brahma down to the simplest life form for any purpose.
So in this, just because these two are in continuation, here in these two verses, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, he is highlighting on the plane of action the duties or the prescribed duties for all, and in these two verses he is highlighting for those who are conversant with the Absolute specifically. So here they are not part of the ones that are going to look at the Vedic injunctions or do various purificatory activities, the various sanskars. They are not bound by that anymore. So that's why it says the only real thing or the only thing that they are prescribed or they do is pretty much they engage for their sustenance, whatever they need to sustain themselves, depending on what their condition is and what their situation is. That's the only thing that they are supposed to do, if at all, like that. Not anything else. There are no rules. So the rules for those set of personalities or those people has undergone a change, just because their situation has changed.
What are the things that they are exempt from? That's what I'm thinking of. Maybe I'm not. Excuse me, I'm not feeling that well. So I'll go on. Just go ahead. It's okay.
So those before this, if you remember the verses where he was saying that there are so many causal cycles that everyone needs to be aware of,
That's what I'm
and they So, and then those who do not respect that causal cycle, it's not good. You need to do that. Otherwise, you will only incur sin. Because action and reaction, they will always be, they're on this reactionary plane. But those who have elevated to, you can say, the level of niśkāma karma. Niśkāma karma meaning how to explain that? There was one, you remember what I said to you? That term?
Transforming instead of doing for exploitative purposes, doing it.
Yeah, no,
otherwise.
there was a term that I just wanted to remember that term.
I remember you said perfection.
Yeah. So performative perfection on the plane of action. That is what this set of people that he's talking in verse 17 and 18 have achieved. Niśkāma karma means their karma or their actions are not propelled by personal or provincial gain or fruits. They're not considering their provincial or separate interest anymore. So, but they're still engaged because they're still on the plane of action. Does that make sense?
Perfect. I have to get a sip of water and I'll be right back.
So those people are perfected on the plane of action. They have reached the stage of performative perfection, right? That's the I forgot. Is that okay? Haribhari? So the only worldly action that they require is for their sustenance. Oh, Prabhu. You have.
I'm getting my second after you.
And then he says that in number 18 that he does not depend on any other being. Contrary to how people feel that we depend on so many other persons for our sustenance or so many other things that we, in our day-to-day lives that we go through, he says that those people are not bound or they're not dependent on any other being. So all the way from Lord Brahma to the simplest life form for any other purpose, for any purpose. Which is...
that is not possible in this world. Always we depend from others.
So it's not possible because it's not within our conception. So yeah, you're right, it's not possible.
It's not possible.
But there is such a condition. Yeah.
Very difficult, no?
Yeah, there is such a condition.
Because if we have light because other person put light. We don't know then.
Life?
Light.
Oh, light?
For example, light.
No, but you will not depend on it. If there is light, good. If there is not, still okay. That's just one gross example that you brought up, but what this says is you will not, there's no dependency of that soul on any other being of this plane. So, number 19, Madhav Prabhu.
So perform your prescribed duties without attachment. By selflessly executing one's duties, a person attains liberation. True liberation is the state of pure devotion attained in the maturity of selfless action.
Jai.
And that's very potent.
So, someone who is niśkāma, or who is not anymore propelled by desires, provincial or separate desires. Their desires are that of the center, not theirs. They have reached that state. Then there's no question of any reaction from anything that they do, because that anything that they do will not be for their own self, their separate interest. They will not do it. They will not be inclined to do it either.
No.
See, it's a fine thing to see, if you can follow. Anything that they will do for the center. What does Arjuna say when he understands everything and when he's situated properly? To Lord Krishna, what does he say? He says, Nashto moha smritir labdha tat prasadana mayachata. He says, by your mercy, by your grace, that what I had forgotten has come back to me. Smritir labdha. He had forgotten his connection with Krishna, and now he says, by your mercy, I completely understand that, and I'm situated in that understanding, in that realization. And moha, my separate interest, and that false ego associated with the separate interest is gone. No more mine, this is yours, this is not. That separate interest is gone. So nashtamo smritir labdha tat prasadanmayachata. And then he says, sthito asmi gad sandeha. I have no doubts now. Karishye vachanam tava. He says, now I shall do as you will. Thy will be done. That is possible only in this state. In this state. Otherwise, you will never know, one will never know what thy will is, let alone carrying it out.
You've got enough will of your own to keep yourself busy for eternity.
So here,
this is part of the problem with Christianity, is it gives you the come on, thy will be done, but it doesn't give you the particulars on how to get rid of your will. So this is where we are. This is why I'm here.
this is why we're all here,
Yeah.
is to get rid of our separate interest and be interested only, what is coming from the center. Thy will be done. That's what Arjuna says. Karishye vachanam tava. What you have told me, what you have said, all of it will be done. Not like chapter 2 is okay, but 3 is not. Not like that. Not like that. He says, all will be accepted and all will be done. Karishye vachanam tava, like that. So, verse number 20, Lavanya's turn.
Okay. King Janak and other learned personalities succeeded in attaining devotion through the execution of their prescribed duties. So it is fitting that you fulfill your duty in consideration of the welfare of the people.
Haripriya Didi, 21.
The masses follow the ways of great men following the standards they set.
The masses follow the ways of great men following the standards they set. In any society, any civilized society, that is the case. The people look up to the opinion leaders, their ideals, their the persons that they try to emulate and follow. So it is of prime importance that those personalities bear that responsibility and then imbibe in them proper theistic conception. Otherwise, what will happen?
One would imagine trouble. Shortcomings.
So yad yad acharati shreshthas tad tad eva tarojana sayad pramanam kurute lokastad anuvartate. That's what this verse means. This verse is saying. So that acharati also means acharan. Acharan is actually doing, setting an example for people in general. If they look, oh, this is one of our leaders, and look at what he does or she does. This is how they conduct themselves. This is how self-giving they are. This is how loving they are. That will encourage the masses the most. So this is also the significance of performative perfection. Why? In any society, in any civilization, why is it of prime importance? And what happens when that condition is not met? Rather, inverse of what is supposed to happen happens. Then there is anarchy and chaos.
And it is.
Because there are no people to follow. There are no people to follow. There is no theism as such, let alone full-fledged theism. So it's responsibilities on each one of us to set that example. For people in general, if you can see how much the good persons are suffering. I mean, there are, of course, the demoniac ones, and it is how it is. That is their nature. But there are good people. And don't you think they'll be suffering in a situation where who do they look up to? It's a vacuum. So that's why theism and full-fledged theism is of such importance. That is the significance of this chapter. Not only for yourself, but to set that example for generations to come. What are we going to pass on to the coming generations? What?
Well, self-serving is all they have to offer. And that's a dead-end road.
So that is the significance of this chapter, really, is that performative perfection and its significance. Here it comes out, on especially this verse. That when we are theistic or we try to be following in the footsteps of the Mahajan, of the Acharyas, of our Gurudev, then our acharan or our behavior and our activities must be exemplary to put that foundation for the generations to come, so that they can look up and go, look at them, how they conduct themselves. And then, therefore, they can follow. With that sense of, you can say, pride.
Well, you are representing so much. And this is your good fortune to recognize that, because you're going to check yourself at every move if you're in relationships like that.
Yeah.
If not, if you're looking for someone who's gained a profit by cheating, you're in a different school, and there's no profit.
So you can see how relevant these instructions are, like now, right? Although these were spoken over 5,000 years back.
Yeah, but he's talking about this is what humans are on planet Earth to do. So it's going to be very potent. It's going to be very clear too.
Supremely potent.
Supremely potent.
You can pick this literature, this divine literature up anytime, and it'll be 100% relevant in your life, and in my life, and in every individual's life.
And 99% ignored.
Because it's not easy.
No, it's not easy. No, we need Guru Dev. We need that pinnacle of success in front of us to be able to have that inspiration to continue on this task of undoing our egos. It's a very big task. And we have no chance without this Sangha.
Jai. Go to Hari Bol. Okay, now,
We need to do 23 and 24.
22.
Oh, yes,
Go ahead.
22, 23.
Read it.
Okay. O Arjun, I have no duty in the three worlds. I lack nothing, and there's nothing to be attained by me. And yet I myself am active.
Here, Krishna is giving his own example. Nanavapatam avapatavyam vartaiva cha karmani. He says, I have no duty in the three worlds. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's not even like a jiva. He's the Master Consciousness, the Supreme Consciousness, Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. He's saying that I lack nothing, and there's nothing that I have to attain or I aspire to attain, and yet I myself am active. I'm driving your chariot.
Yeah, that's pretty good for activity.
That is the significance of this chapter right here. Krishna is saying it himself for the benefit of me, the benefit of you, benefit of everyone. I think this verse is really beautiful of him actually giving his own example. Na me parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana nanavapatam avapatavyam vartaiva cha karmani. Yet I am engaged, I am driving a chariot, I am doing all these things. So those who feel that the Supreme Person is like far removed and no, he is as much engaged as any one of us. He's fully invested in our well-being. That's his nature. And by his word, you can feel that. Otherwise, why would he, bother to come down and be part of a battle, which is like a family thing for some people? He could just, turn his back and go, well, you deal with it. His energies are working as it is. Personally, he doesn't need to be involved. But still he is. And that's what he's saying.
The two lines come together. I mean, in the first line, it's saying that folly is following the great men of the material world, and then Krishna comes in and says to give him up. So it's right there, back to back.
Now this is for people who have that theistic intelligence, who can see through all of that noise and actually see he is the Supreme Person. Krishnastu Bhagavān Swayam. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. Then they will follow him.
But not until we realize.
They will try to surrender to him and follow him. Then everything will be auspicious, everything is good. Number 23. Haripriya Didi.
Arjuna, if ever I do not engage actively in duties, then all men following my example will bring me up their duty.
So in this one he says, Arjuna, if I don't engage attentively in duties, then all men following my example will give up their duties. Number 24, Madhav Prabhu.
If I do not engage in duties, the people of this world will renounce their duties and fall to ruination. Thus, will be responsible for their downfall caused by adultery,
Progeny. Progeny. Adulterated progeny means ill-conceived progeny children. So, number 25. O Arjuna, as ignorant persons work with attachment, the wise too must work, but without attachment. In order to guide the general people who exist in the plane of worldly action. They differ not in their work, but in their attitudes of attachment and detachment. That's the inner working. From outside, if you look, formally it will look that everyone is moving the same way. Their hands and feet and mouth and everything else is moving pretty much the same way. But then there is a set of people, when we apply this lens, then we will see that they are not working quite like the rest, who are bound to the plane of action and reaction. This set of personalities are not bound. They're still active, but they're not bound. So that because of their attitudes of attachment and detachment, they're properly adjusted. Their separate interest is not there anymore. And they're acting for the higher will, for a higher purpose. So to get to that plane, he introduced, remember, that principle of sacrifice. So in the exploitative frame of mind, we have to practice that as a duty. That's why prescribed duties are important. You must sacrifice. Sacrifice means you must, starting with foregoing some of your fruit of your work for a higher cause. So to fine-tune our work, we have to start looking at the causative cycles. Like cause and effect, and then what's the higher cause, and then start doing for the higher cause. Bit by bit. We can't entirely do it to begin with, but then taking steps and then getting to that perfectional state of niśkāma karma. That state of performative perfection.
Once the realization that this is the ideal, I think assistance comes. We get so much help once we're finally in the right track. We actually come here to get more. Otherwise, we have no appetite.
It's like that, like inner necessity.
Inner necessity requires us to come here, yes.
Will attract. That sense of, in a way you can say, sense of negativity that I don't have it, but I really want to achieve, or I want to have that perfection. I can't taste it again, so I need that. So it will be supplied. So it's that earnestness and truth of that necessity that will draw the higher, His grace, it will draw. Because unless there is hunger, if one is supplied with the best food, there will be no appreciation. It will be rejected.
As soon as you hanker, then something happens. Mostly it happens, the war begins. You can't hanker, you will hanker. It's not important, it is important. So this is our life. This is our life.
Jai.
Once you've tasted, though, you do not forget.
Did we do 26, Lavanya?
We didn't chant 25.
We didn't chant 25. Okay.
So we can chant it as well.
Yeah. Well, so 25, 26. 25, 26, and 27. Let's just do those because they're in continuation. Saktah karmanya vidvamso yatha kurvanti bharata kuryad vidvamsa tatha saktas chakir surlok samnaham na buddhivedam janayeda ajnanam karma sanginam yojayet sarva karmani Vidvan yukta samachana Prakrateh kriyamanani Guna karamani sarvasha Ahankara vibhudatma Kartaham iti mannate. Okay, 25 we've already read. 26 Lavanya.
The scripturally learned teacher should not create confusion in the minds of ignorant, attached men by apparently advocating the neglect of duty for the cultivation of knowledge. Rather, he should set the example of selflessness in fulfilling duties, thus encouraging the ignorant in the performance of their prescribed duties.
all actions in the world are in every respect affected by the modes of material nature, which impel the senses. But a man deluded by bodily identification thinks, I alone am accomplishing this work. How significant is this? Number 27.
Carries from birth to death. It's prevalent.
Oh.
I am thinking I alone am accomplishing everything.
Shambhunath.
Hare Krishna.
Shambhunath Prabhu ki jai. We have been blessed.
Jai Gurudev.
Hare Krishna. It says, people are thinking that I am doing this. Look what I accomplished. Look what I did. But factually, it says all actions in this world are in every respect affected by the modes of material nature. Sato, Rajas, Tama. Based on that, with our own separate interests driving that momentum and qualifying it further through the three modes, the senses engaging with the objects of the senses, and that's how actions are actually happening. But a person deluded by bodily identification, which means who are under the false ego, they're thinking, I am doing it. It's me. And those who have gone through some of that science that we've covered, they'll be like, not really. So sometimes in Satogun, when Satogun is prevalent or is prominent, then more understanding of finer truths will come to us. Rajogun, not so much. It'll impel us to work more, be more active. And Tamogun will make us believe and make us do contrary to what is good or what is right or what is prescribed. Our understanding will also be inverted. Yeah. We will take always, like for example, to be convinced that something which is abominable will be considered holy. That is tamogun. So actually religion will be followed as religion. That is how deep their effect is of the modes. So through that mode, then you're viewing everything. Through that mode, false ego through that mode is acting out. There's always permutations and combinations of the three modes, but if like the mode of tamas is prominent, then everything will be understood in quite the opposite way. So we can see, as you know, the present age of Kali Yuga, as it is progressing, more and more we will see like that prevalence of irreligion, of understanding what is unholy to be holy, what is right to be wrong, what is good is to be bad, and what is bad to be good. So this is useful for us to actually understand how people are behaving and how things are happening. Top to bottom, we can see.
Seems to be speeding up a little bit too.
Yes.
It seems that things that were absolutely unthought of
Yeah.
just a month ago, you know. Vague, you know, so very deep.
So
Yeah.
all this is not some sort of like pedantic theory. This is practical knowledge. On using this, we can actually see what's going on, improve ourselves, and be situated in a proper framework as we do our sadhana, as we do our Lavanya. Can you please shut that door? Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
So let's do 28, 29, and we can do 30, 31, we can do 32. To 32 we can do.
Let me get this.
Huh? What happened? Prakritir sorry. Tattvavitu mahabaho guna karma vibhagayo guna guneshu vartanta iti matva sajjate prakritir guna sammudaha sajjante guna karmasu dana kritsna vido mandana kritsana vinna vichalayet मयि सर्वाणि कर्माणि संन्यस्याध्यात्मचेतसा निराशीर निर्ममो भूत्वा युद्धस्व विगच्ඡर ये मे मतमिदं नित्यम् अनुतिष्ठन्ति मानवा श्रद्धावन्तो न सूयन्तो मुच्यन्ते तेऽपि कर्मभिः ये ते तद् अभयसूयन्तो नानुतिष्ठन्ति मे मतम् सर्वज्ञान विमूढां स्थान विद्धि नष्टान चेतसा. Okay. Haripriya Didi, would you like to read from verse
28.
What verse?
28.
28?
Yeah.
Okay. Wherever Almighty are not Arjuna, one who is in the knowledge of the division of the mode of material nature, and also knows that the modes are engaged in the modes and he is detached from them. One who knows that the three modes activity are not activated by the demigods impede the engagement of the sense with their objects, knows himself to be independent of these elements, therefore he does not consider himself a doer. 29?
Madhav Prabhu 29.
Persons bewildered by the modes of nature are absorbed in the functions of the modes, the engaging of the senses with their objects. Enlightened persons should not agitate such ignorance. Unfortunate persons find that trying to convince them of higher philosophical truths. Rather, they should advise the conditioned souls to practice selfless actions which liberate them from absorption in the modes. Krishna gave instructions to us.
Surrender all your activities to me with this understanding. All my actions are under the control of the indwelling Lord. In such consciousness, free from possessiveness and anguish, take recourse to battle as your natural duty.
Faithful, unbegrudging men who always practice my teaching, this yoga of selfless action, are liberated from the bondage of action, even though they engage in action. Faithful, unbegrudging men. So faithful in this unbegrudging is also non-envy. So it's part of the unbegrudging, and it's important. Number 32. But the arrogant who resent my teaching are bereft of all knowledge. Know them to be lost in ignorance. And this arrogance has envy.
And it's paranoia too.
Yeah.
Prabhu, but in practice life, how is selfless action? How is in practice life, for example?
So one example can be for 2 hours you had the option to go to the beach, but what are you doing?
Here. Does it selfless action?
What else is it?
But I think it's something I like it.
That is devotion then.
But another time I can go to the beach.
That is, just give you
But you will take devotion to the beach.
just give you some really basic thing. So that you can expand on that. So instead of something that one, let's say, likes and which is a mundane engagement, to give that up and be engaged in any kind of service. That is selfless action. That will tell you what selfless action means. And in fact, it is much more than just selfless action, because that is positive engagement. So it goes beyond that, beyond the periphery of simply being selfless action, and gets into positive engagement. That is service, seva, to the Supreme. So everything that we do in devotion, and you're thinking, I like it, that is seva, and you are positively engaged in that plane. So which essentially is telling here that all those actions, do they bear any reaction? No. And they are connecting you to the center.
Well, that's a reaction. It's a good reaction.
So there's absolutely no reaction. And that is actually connecting you to that the universal wave of Now that liking that you have for engagement in service, that's purely grace. That's by higher grace that you have come to like it. Something has captured your heart, and so you're doing that because it is not ordinary. It's not normal. You try, as you're doing, you try to someone who's living their life as purely conditioned as outside, try to engage them like you're doing, they will never do it. So it's a process. They have to go bit by bit, a little process, then you can get them in. So that's why he's saying in here, go step by step by step. Bit by bit. That's why he's saying don't engage persons who are totally conditioned into higher philosophy. They'll never understand it. And they'll end up making their own situation more miserable. They'll be like a bull in a china shop.
Exactly. One offense after another.
So that's why you don't want to do that. About higher things, about finer things. You just tell them, just engage in selfless action. And then once they get into that and then understand what a little bit of sacrifice means, then the effect of the modes will be pacified to some extent, and then they will be able to actually see how things are happening and how things are taking place. Then there is a possibility of further advancement. Because everyone on this plane is active and engaged. So that's why this chapter in depth takes us through the various aspects of that, tells us what the perfection is of action, significances of perfect action, how to engage in the perfection, the perfectional stage, or reach that stage. So that's why it's so important. We can actually do we've done till what? 32.
32.
We can do 33 and 34. 33, 34, 35. We can do 33, 34, 35. Sadrasham cheshtate swasya prakritir jnanavanapi prakritam yanti bhutani nigraha kim karishyati indriyasyarthe ragadesho vyavastito tayorana vashamagacchate Tauhe asya paripantino Shriyanasya dharmo viguna paradharmata sanishtitat Swadharme nidanam shreya paradharmo bhayavaha. That was 35?
Yeah.
Okay.
That has to be the longest word I've ever seen.
Which one?
Indriyasya indriya
Indriyasyendriyasyarthe. Indriyasyendriya.
Sanskrit doesn't come easy for me, and that scares me.
So all this is it's like a, when you compound words, so it's called sandhi. So there's 2 words or 3 words and they come,
there was a couple of thoughts in there.
so they're coupled.
Speaking of Sanskrit words, there's one back here on the last one that I wanted to ask you about, the term sarvani. Back here on 28, I think.
Oh, 28.
So,
Verse 28?
yeah, I think, or around there, it says Maya sarvani kamani
30.
30.
Verse 30.
The term
Maya
sarvani, that's
sarvani.
my wife's name. I was wondering if you'd give me what that is.
Sarva?
Sarvani?
Sarvani.
Yeah.
Sarvani, so sarvani means all.
Oh, okay.
Like when he says sarvani karmani, so means, sarva means all of it, not part of it.
Okay. So it's not for a proper title there.
So like here, if you look, it says sarvani karmani means all activities. So here all means that is the sarvani part. Sarvasva, sarvani, sarva. So sarva is the term. So that term, or that the meaning of sarvani means all. So should we read?
Yes. Yes.
30. Would you like to read?
It's 32 or 33?
I think 33.
Okay. For even a knowledgeable person tends to act according to his nature, mundane inclinations. The living beings' endeavors are dictated by their natures. What then can repression accomplish?
Repression accomplished. So he is not recommending repression, which means to hold back our tendencies or our natural propensity to act in certain ways, not to restrain, but to engage through that propensity to work for the center.
Okay.
So to not see, repression will not accomplish. We have to act, but we have to learn how to, you can say, channel all our work, which also includes our propensities toward the center. So how we can serve through that. Okay, number 34.
Although the senses are attached to and repelled by the sense objects, one must not be controlled by these urges, for they are the greatest enemy of the candidate for self-realization.
So the senses are always attracted to or repelled by the objects of the senses. That's why they're there. And you know what the objects are and what the senses are. So, and then because one sense is attracted to the object, that doesn't mean all others will remain inactive. They will become activated, and they will attach towards that object. So then it becomes an entire network, a working network within that framework. You remember? Gandha, rasa, rupa, sparsha, shabda. Those are the objects of the senses.
Right. I was thinking in terms of fire.
So that is roop. Fire is the element. Roop or form is the object of the sense. And the sense is I. So when that engages, that will cause, and if the object engages the sense, then all other senses will rush to that when it's attracted. So that little chart that I shared with you, that's the significance. Gandha, like we say, gandha is smell. So the primary sense that's acting is the nose. That's through, we smell. Senses and smell is the object. And then corresponding element is earth. So that's how these objects, senses, and elements, they're all forming a network. And then in that network is what we perceive as reality, or relative reality that we see. Dandavat Prabhu. Okay, you were reading 35?
Even if it is imperfect, it is better to do one's duty according to one's own nature than to do another's well. Even death in the discharge of one's own duty is better, for to perform another's is dangerous.
Let me read the commentary. So, the eternal, super excellent, natural function, dharma, of the soul is pure devotion for Adhokshaja, the transcendental Lord. Therefore, even if this function is somewhat imperfectly attempted by one with external malpractices, such an attempt will be superior to the good practices within the modes of nature and worldly chain of actions and habits foreign to the soul's nature. Did you follow? Even if death occurs during the cultivation of such pure devotion, in proper saintly association, it is the bestower of the ultimate good, but in the name of good practices to ignorantly follow another's path. Anything other than devotion for the Lord, Dutiya Vinivesha, is bhayavaha, endangering to the spiritual progress of the soul. There is a footnote in here with a verse. This is from Bhagavatam. Bhayam dutiya viniveshata syad ishadape tasya parjayo smriti tanamayato buddha vijetatam bhaktaya kayesham gurudevatatma. A person of fine intelligence will serve with single-minded devotion his Lord, who is his teacher and dearmost friend. But those who have turned away from the Lord adopt the illusory ego of considering the perishable body to be the self, forgetting their true identities. Their consciousness, absorbed in secondary pursuits, that is, mundane objectives, they are always fearful on account of the body and its attachments. Bhai, that means, bhai means fear. And also, bhai also means anxiety. So our lives, those who are engaged incessantly in secondary pursuits of the body and its byproducts, they are filled with anxiety and fear. Because
False notion.
because they're trying to follow some artificial, made-up duty and not following their very nature, which is pure devotion, service to the transcendental Lord. Because of that, then the life will always be, and that is a choice. That is a free choice of the individual.
Yeah, daily.
So it is by choice that people prefer or people choose to live in fear and anxiety and consider their bodily identification as their very self. So that's why in the commentary he says this eternal, super excellent, natural function, and that is what is dharma is. Dharma doesn't mean religion. People go, religion, oh dharma, can you translate the word dharma into English? And they will quickly go religion. It is the eternal, super excellent, natural function of the soul. That is dharma. And that is actually Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan means eternal. So Sanatan Dharma is actually this. Devotion for Adhokshara, Bhakti Adhokshara, the transcendental Lord. So we are to attempt this function, and that is the most natural to us. Rather than the external bodily identification of the self and being exploitative. To be an exploitative unit or to be a serving unit, that is the difference. The super excellent natural function of the soul is to be a serving unit. But when we are captured by a choice, by the outside, by the external environment, then we become an exploitative unit. So then we come into the world of the false ego.
Animalistic behavior.
Actually worse than that.
Yeah. Oh, worse than that, because we're much better at it than the animals.
Yeah. So animals don't have free will as such. Free will in the sense of they're not responsible for their actions. So they're entirely under material nature. They will go and hunt when they're hungry, and that's it. So we'll pause here. If you have any comments or anything, any questions, or then we can discuss. Otherwise, we'll 35. I think next session we'll wrap this up and begin the next chapter, which is going to be the 4th chapter, Jnana Yoga. So we did till what verse here, Lavanya? 35. Okay.
So we'll start next time with verse 36.
36. 36 to 40. 43. Okay. Jai असपरिकर श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग गंधर्विका गिरिधारी जी की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद शिला भक्ति सुंदर गोविंद देव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद शिला भक्ति रक्षक श्रीधर देव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद विश्वरण्य शिला ऐसी भक्तिदान स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री चैतन्य सारस्वत मठ आचार्य वृंद की जय। जय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। All the assembled devotees ki jai. Nittai Gaur Premanande.
Hari Hari Bol. Jai.
Oh, yeah.